Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of Final Fantasy X-2. So we just finished with all of our introductions on the Celsius. We also got a brand new Dressphere. And now we're about to have our first mission that isn't the tutorial. Although this mission will have some more tutorials. But we're basically off to Gagazet, and we have since gotten all of our basic Dresspheres, including the Psychic Dressphere, upgraded, and now we just have the Festivalists left to go. And so, obviously, we still don't know as much about it, but as you can see here, this little completed percentage, we are going to be tracking that like a hawk, and kind of using different milestones to make sure we're not missing a certain percentage and to basically load back and whatnot. But you should see 3% when you're starting this bit, so you know that you didn't miss anything. And if you don't see 3%, it might be because you're missing the sphere, the watching the journey begins sphere in Shinra's collection. So luckily with the airship traversing the mountain is a lot easier than the first time we did it through 10, and basically now that the Faith are no longer summoning, the kind of higher peaks of the mountain have cleared and there's different new ruins we can look at. Ruins that probably haven't been explored since the Faith of Zanarkand were put there. So we're talking about like ancient Spira. Already, you keep those eagle-eyed among you might be looking and seeing, oh, I see a treasure chest, I see another treasure chest.
I'm not listening. Riku, come in. You want me to hurt him? That'd be great. Come in. He. Ho. Thanks. That was a little close. A little?
But as I said before, we're not able to skip the cutscenes, so we just gotta sit through them as Yuna nearly faints off the side of the mountain. Not the best start to the mission. But here we get basically a tutorial in jumping. Now I think I've jumped in other episodes, basically, but you just have to run along this path and you'll get a clip for that. And basically holding X when you get to a path will just make you jump. So there's verticality in our 10-2 games, so it kind of allows for even older maps that we would have ran through to get whole new kind of dimension, I suppose, for lack of a better word, because Yuna can basically climb up and around all the different areas. And one of the biggest places we're going to see that is actually in Besaid, but we're not going to get to Besaid for quite a while, just with the way that we're going to be running to get these completion percentages.
We're not getting across this way. Let's find another.
And as I say, we're like right by where the sphere is. It's in that little like bubble. But as good as we are at jumping, we can't do crazy things like in Kingdom Hearts.
Just great. Think this machina still works?
So with the press of a machina button, this machine hasn't worked in thousands of years, so
I wonder how safe.
that is a very good question. I'm not sure how safe that is. And considering you nearly fell off the side of the mountain yesterday, and now you're hopping on these ancient elevators. Madness.
Owie. things are
brother's
disaster.
slight obsession is
Disasterific! I am on my way.
obvious. Obvious is probably the word. But basically, I was going to turn on encounters, and then I realized I'm just at over leveled, and the creatures we can fight here are creatures we can fight in the monster arena. So I just was like, oh, I'm just gonna skip them, turn off random encounters, and just progress the story basically. So you will see boss fights though. So that won't be too bad. But as I say, from now on, I'm going to try and basically make sure all my spheres are maxed before going on to a new mission, just so that I can kind of put on the spheres that I like the best and like to use the most, rather than like taking this opportunity to level fast for list and get new abilities for them.
Blanc. Remember that name well, loves.
Ah, the thief.
Whatever do you mean? Ugh, that's what I hate about amateurs.
Maybe she'll go away if we ignore her.
I heard
Like,
that.
we've gone from
Just as I was saying,
fighting
amateurs,
world-ending sin,
no concept
and now
of
we just
a
have
true spear hunter.
this lady being our main antagonist as she follows us around,
Following. A mere coincidence.
chasing after spheres.
As always.
Indeed, following them has paid off splendidly.
How did they follow us? From the airship in the sky?
Laugh while you can.
I suppose it's big, you would be able to follow, but like, how are they keeping up?
Them again.
Madness. But here we have the Intrepid Garment Grid, and basically at the moment, if you haven't already, if you get all three of the girls to change Dresspheres, and I have to do this to get the girls around the grid to get their triple AP, but I left Thief on the Garment Grid just because for boss fights they do tend to have useful items. And so with Master Thief as well, they're guaranteed to steal, like, well, not guaranteed because they're literally not missing, but if they steal, they get rare items. So I just am gonna give that a go until I've stolen from each of them for some useful early game accessories. And then once that's done, it's just continue the moving around the sphere grid. And as you can see, once you move around, the little orbs in the lines, like the gates, as Shinra explained, they will basically light up so you know which way you've gone.
Stop your slack.
So with yellow and red done, you just have to move through green, and then the girls get 3 times the AP that they would for using abilities. So instead of getting 1 AP for using her Firefish, and 1 AP for defeating Orby, LeBlanc, and whatever, they're going to get 3 times that basically.
I guess we can win this way too.
And unfortunately, Pain didn't get into her new Dressphere, but with one hit was all it took for LeBlanc and everybody else to just drop like flies, because we're in our 30s. This is ridiculous, really. But with that, we've already gotten another new ability. So we can't say no to that. Got some useful accessories, got some high potions and potions, but this starts our little quest to race to the top of the mountain. Now this event is timed, but there's really no way you're going to run out of time.
Think she
And
is.
I mean, I didn't do it before, but like you can just reload an autosave, or reload a save in the Celsius before you start the mission, in case you happen to somehow fail. But they do give you plenty of time, and it's also kind of a way for you to like look at the environment in a different way as you would have 210, because there's like a little gap there, and you can literally just jump down, have a shortcut, and once you start jumping around your environment, the race is super
Even
quick.
if its ad flashed, why not stop to catch your breath?
But with these battles, like this is basically what I was doing in the Fiend Arena ad nauseum. Just have the girls change to 3 different Dresspheres and then just wipe the battle as quickly as possible. Now some could argue it might be better and quicker to, now that you have the 3 times AP, it might be quicker just to use non-damaging abilities so that the girls get 3 AP every time they use an ability or an item. But obviously you also get 3 AP for defeating each enemy, so it depends on that.
Eat this.
But yeah, Firefish is OP. And if you kind of know you're about to hit the end, if you have the other girls use potions, they will activate the potions before the end of the battle, but it'll also gain you the 3 AP. But yeah, like you've over 5 minutes. And basically there's like a little side thing that you can do to get an extra accessory. So I'll just show you that, but like, if you're panicked, because this is one of those things where you need to win to get your 100% completion. But as I can show you here, you can have plenty of time. But if you don't really care about this one accessory, and like it's not even that great of an accessory, would not blame you guys for just skipping out on it. But yeah, just drop down there. You can get a white ring. That isn't the one. But that's basically the vibe of these kind of different treasures. There's a white ring. There's a red ring. And I think there was a yellow ring, yeah, at the very, very start. So they kind of give you the 3 basic black elements that you can equip. And basically any Dressphere can then use black magic and also have like defense against fire, ice, or lightning as is appropriate. I recently let's try that again. I recently re-watched Pokemon the movie 2000, The Power of One, and like, you know, just the battles with like Moltres, Articuno, and Zapdos were totally amazing, and just literally saying fire, ice, and lightning just triggered that memory for me there. But as I say, this side detour is just to get that other elemental ring. So, like, that's a complete detour to the side, and we still have plenty of time to win this race.
You know how I hate the damp.
Sorry, boss.
Like, it is such a tonal change. Like, we've gone from, you know, Sin destroying, like, cities and civilizations to, like, a fun, campy Charlie's Angels. But, like, I'm absolutely here for it. We get, like, magical girl transformations and super fun battle system. Like, I wouldn't be grinding out all these extra levels, making all these Dresspheres, like, maxed out if the combat and the, like, strategy just to get that done wasn't super duper fun. So, you know, it's a testament to the game system that I can literally spend 15 hours just after the prologue just to, like, get all the abilities and these Dresspheres just maxed out. And, like, hopefully, like, through these normal battles, and, like, we'll get to, like, harder battles later on, but, like, yeah, for, like, the vast majority of this, I'm going to just be no encountering. Unless there's certain enemies that, like, I know only appear outside of the Fiend Arena, like, in that case, but, like, I might just do that over soul encounters off screen, I'm not sure. I will see. But basically, at the moment, our girls are just unbelievably powerful. Like, they're going to just one-hit everything. They're going to be taking minuscule damage. And on, like, a little side note, I literally have a little goldfish that looks like Riku's Firefish. So I'm just like, oh, that's adorable. But as you can see there, like even the use of items, it will, you know, create AP for the girls to learn abilities with. And like that, when you have your 3 times multiplier, it is quite useful. So we have Pain with SOS Regen and Unit with Pointless Proof. Like, we are just absorbing abilities, or rather learning abilities, left and right. But you might be saying, oh my god, we've like 3 minutes to go, and like the race is basically over at this point. So just jump and climb. And I think you can run around that corner and collect another treasure chest, but like there's no point. If I really was worried about it, I could have just ran down now because there's no pressure. But remember I said there's no graphical issues? Remember I was praising this game?
Would you stop staring?
I spoke too soon. So Ormy is meant to be like hanging on to logos, and it's supposed to basically be like kind of tasteless upskirt shot. So in a way it's like good. I'm glad the animation broke. But since we won, we got the accessory, the muscle belt, which is super cool. I've never lost, but I believe this failed state is that they open the treasure chest, but in opening the treasure chest, they fall over. So you just don't get the treasure. But here we have our first boss.
We'd run into something like this.
Although realistically, the tournament was really our first boss. Because this is not going to be the same type of territory, unfortunately. And just for the sake of things, I was like, we'll get the girls to have 3 extra AP. But as I say, just move about. Brothers line there. But just on the 3 festivalists, Yuna basically has magic, and Riku has elemental damage as well. But Riku is a bit like Warrior. She can go through all the different damage types: fire, ice, lightning, water, demi, or darkness, and holy. Whereas Yuna is specifically like the black mage, but including flare and ultima for her sandals. And then Pain's one is more like the songstress, doing status conditions and damage, except she also gets petrification as a status she could inflict.
It's obvious to the trained eye that spear's just a dud. Perfect for the Gullwings.
For the Gullwings. Alright, LeBlanc, calm down. Youth does win again.
Well, I guess we'll be taking this.
And then that's basically the vibe of TED 2. You have these little isolated missions, and then once you complete them, you get story percentage, obviously, and then you're like returned to the airship to then go to another area, do a mission, and then return back. Because, like, I suppose that's a whole different vibe with the sequel. We've already been through all of Spira. We've already seen, like, you know, every area in the game. And so now it's really sort of more of a sociological examination on how does society, now that there is no sin, there's no constant fear and conflict, how do people start to live in a peacetime when they've been in such a survival mentality their entire like lives in some cases. And so it really is more about what Yuna encounters in the different places that she goes to, rather than specifically like a journey through the world, because we already know the world, and now we're learning more about the people in the world and how they're coping and surviving in this changing world with all these different new ideas, like we kind of heard in the Eternal Calm cutscene. But speaking of cutscenes, we unfortunately, for 100% completion, have to get another creepy scene with Brother, who is Riku's brother, therefore Yuna's cousin having an obsession with her. Not that great. But you have the option to comfort and ignore, and you need to comfort him to get a scene that has percentage completion for seeing it.
He's alive, right? Just leave him there.
Can you analyze the sphere we found?
And
I'm on it.
this also kind of breaks into the, reward system of the game. You do a mission, you get a sphere. In some cases they're movie spheres, in other cases they're not. But most of the time, you get a mission complete, you're either getting a Dressphere or a garment grid. I think there's only like one circumstance where you find a Dressphere in a treasure chest, and we will talk about that later.
Don't strain yourself.
Leader must be tough.
So yeah. And so yeah, if the ship has autopilot, what does Brother even do sitting in the flying seat? And Pain is just like, listen, talk to Shinra. And Buddy's like, Yuna, I'm scanning, there's nothing left to do, leave me alone. But remember when I said, oh, these ruins must be like from a time well before Zanarkand fell. So what sort of a sphere would we have from those times? A sphere from ancient Zanarkand. The real Zanarkand. In its heyday.
I can't believe I actually got a ticket. What a thrill to be able to shake her hand like that.
So, the person in that sphere is actually quite important.
Junk.
But we'll leave that mystery there for a little while. But here we have the Black Mage Dressphere. Really good Dressphere. And I'm going to basically spend a bit of time off screen fully leveling Black Mage and Festivalist. And then we will jump into exploring different areas of Spira and doing missions. Because we have two main hotspots. Besaid Island and Zanarkand. And basically in this little blurb it says you have hotspots, and when you complete all the hotspots in a chapter, the story will progress on. Other areas in the map aren't necessarily hotspots but might have missions for you to do. So basically we have to do every single other area in the game, then do the hotspots, and then progress the story for 100%. Now, again, this little 6% now, we're going to be tracking that now and making sure. So if you guys are playing along, keep an eye on your completed percentage and it should match mine. Now, on the easy to hard scale, it's supposed to obviously be a gradient, but we're so high leveled now. Everything is super easy. So, apologies for that. But tune in next time, and that's where we're going to start some missions. Thanks for watching, guys.